What's up, guys? Today we're going over the new SMG, the Noxious Vetiver, and this is a 60 RPM arc SMG that's available in Act 2. And in this video we'll be going over what the god roll is on it, seeing how good it is, and I was kind of surprised by how much I kind of like this thing. I wasn't expecting to like it really at all. So jumping into the perks in the left column, there isn't too many great perks, to be honest, in the left. Really the two I'm going to be focusing on for this video is first attrition orbs, then for just a reload perk there is really only one, which is loose change, which fortunately does make a lot of sense on this weapon anyways with some of the perk combos you can use. So starting off with attrition orbs, dealing sustained damage creates an orb of power, and we look at how it roughly works. After landing 67% of the base magazine with the SMG will create an orb, and all those hits have to be within 5 seconds of each other. So with a 26 size mag, it takes roughly 19 bullets to create the orb. If we go ahead and max out the mag with Cinemag or whatever it is, plus back up to 32, now it's going to take a little bit more because of the base mag is higher at roughly 23 now. So if you're trying to optimize this perk, you would want to keep the magazine lower to make it take less bullets to spawn in the orb. But overall, these hits just have to be within 5 seconds of each other. So as you're using this weapon, on average, you're going to be creating one orb per mag. So maybe it's not quite the orb machine that the baton is, the GL from the dungeon, but well, on average, one orb per mag, plus creating orbs on kills with like a Syphon mod. It's definitely a great utility perk in the left column on this weapon to help build up your super. When you enhance the perk, you get more energy per orb. Also, this really helps for your builds with armor charges and things like that, your leg armor mods and whatnot. So overall, probably the best perk in the left. The only thing you're giving up is reload, which would be the other left column perk, loose change. This one is when you apply a elemental debuff, for example jolt, for 4.5 seconds you'll get 50% reload speed and 20 aim assist. The reload speed is very important because 600 RPM SMGs have pretty low base reload speed, so definitely try to get flared magwell reload speed masterwork if you can. And loose change will pair very nicely with the first right column perk, which is jolting feedback. I talked about this perk a few times before, I think on the pulse and also on the GL. On the GL, it just obviously was pretty pointless and not very good. And on the pulse, I wasn't a huge fan of this perk. I thought Volt Shot just has way more uptime on jolt, and you can kind of control it better than jolting feedback. But on a full auto weapon like this SMG or the dungeon AR, I kind of really like this perk. And that is because while not amplified, it takes roughly 19 bullets with SMG to proc the jolt. But then if you're amplified, it goes down to roughly 11 bullets, which is not that much at all. And once again, all you have to do is have these hits within 3 seconds of each other, so it doesn't have to be the same target. So over a 26 mag, you're going to be proccing this easily once per mag with amplified, maybe twice if you're not missing at all. And if we compare that to Volt Shot, where you have to get a kill, reload, then you can apply it on your next hit, with a full auto weapon like SMG, we're going to be shooting more often than not the entire mag before you reload. I think it kind of has the same amount of uptime as Volt Shot, where roughly once per mag, you're going to be proccing the jolt, if not even twice. Whereas on a single bullet weapon, or a burst weapon like a pulse, or hand cannon, I think Volt Shot makes a lot more sense on those weapons where you're going to be shooting a few bullets, reloading, shooting a few bullets, reloading over and over again. On those weapons, Volt Shot just has way more uptime. But on a weapon with a low mag that is full auto, where shooting the full mag doesn't even take 2 seconds, more often than not, you're going to be shooting the entire mag before you reload anyways, so it's kind of the same deal overall. But the big plus of jolting feedback is that it scales into harder content better compared to Volt Shot. So while in the past I wasn't a huge fan of this perk on the weapons I've used it on so far, I think it is great on this weapon, and it kind of makes me want to farm the dungeon AR while it's still double loot to get the roll on that also, because I think these weapons are just going to be really good for harder content. And given the fact that the jolt will stun overload, imagine a season where the artifact mods was barrier SMG or barrier AR, you could cover 2 champions with this or the dungeon AR very easily, and it would just be a really good weapon for those seasons. Then the other perk in the right I think is very good will be Frenzy, and that is because if you run attrition orbs, you have no reload perk, and as we mentioned, the reload speed of this weapon isn't that high, so pairing Frenzy plus attrition orbs would be a really good combo. I think that's be better than Desperate Measures or Rampage. Both those perks will be a higher damage buff, but I think giving up a little bit of the damage buff for 100% reload speed increase is definitely worthwhile on this weapon, and would be the damage perk I would choose to pair with Attrition Orbs. So overall, I think the 3 roles are worth keeping. The first one is to be Attrition Orbs plus Jolting Feedback. Both perks work very similarly and obviously pair really nice together. The one thing is you're not using any reload speed perks at all, so you definitely want to try to get like Flared Magwell, reload speed masterwork if possible, and probably run a arc loader just to help the weapon out. But you can definitely make it work with those things. And then splitting that roll in half and looking at the other 2 rolls I think are worthwhile. With Attrition Orbs, as mentioned, use Frenzy instead for the damage increase and the reload speed. Then instead of Attrition Orbs with Jolting Feedback, you can run Jolting Feedback plus Loose Change for the reload speed whenever you apply the Jolt. So those would be the 3 rolls I think are definitely worth keeping on this weapon. Once again, if you do get like Attrition Orbs plus Desperate Measures or Rampage, definitely a good roll. I just think Frenzy would be a little bit better. Also, the Origin trait really helps this weapon out. Make sure to shoot the Dark Ether charges whenever they spawn in to overflow the weapon, and that'll make it easier to proc Attrition Orbs multiple times along with the Jolting Feedback. And the final thing I want to do, just for my own testing, I haven't done this in a long time, is look at the 600, 720, and 900 RPM SMGs and just compare their DPS. So DPS of the 600 was just under 28, with a 720 just under 30, then with the 900 over 31.5. So not too surprising. Generally in Destiny 2, the higher the rate of fire, the higher the DPS, but these splits aren't that much higher, and the 600 has more range and doesn't feel too bad overall. So overall, I was kind of really surprised by how much I kind of like this weapon. With it being a 600, not my favorite type of SMG, and with my previous experience with Jolting Feedback not being great, I didn't really expect too much with it. I was pleasantly surprised by how much better Jolting Feedback feels on a full auto weapon compared to the burst or single shot ones I've used it on so far. And pairing that with Attrition Orbs is just going to be a great role for really any content in the game. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for the video. I plan to be back for at least the rest of this month, probably early December. Middle-ish December, I might be gone for a while and come back once like the dawning starts, we'll see. But yeah, like usual, thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys next time.